Hafide, welcome to Weekend Edition. I'm Tomas Manglotnya. Glad you could join us. A member of Guam's greatest generation is back on island after nearly 6 decades. We sit down with Philip Babauta.
I can tell you that we survived all this year, all that years, and during we are in Japanese occupations and that. And thanks God that we're still here without any other problems.
87-year-old Philip Babauta grew up in Sumay. It's been nearly 55 years since he's been back home. As a 10-year-old boy, he saw Japanese forces violently occupy the island. He and his family are reunited on Guam this year to pay tribute to their father at Tinta.
Early Sunday morning, when the Japanese planes are coming in and bomb the Standard Oil Company, and from there, when it explode, I run down under my bed. Then my family took us, my dad had a jitney. He took us up to the ranch called Mardao. And from there, we got the rest of the family get together and move some other places.
He returns after living in Tucson, Arizona, retired from the Air Force after 21 years of service. He and his family painfully recall how the Japanese killed their father during the invasion and the sounds of the grenades that rained down.
All by the Japanese, they're in the island. They bothers a lot of people, and we survived.
They moved through the island, and he remembers sighting Japanese soldiers on large horses storming the beach. After finally settling, he went to Japanese school in Agate, then Maritsu. After making the flight from the U.S., he's happy to be home.
This is my island. It's OOD, only on Guam. OOG, only on Guam. So I'm from Sumay, and this is my island. I'll tell you right now, I'd rather be here than any other places.
The stories he shares on behalf of his family also echo during Guam's 75th year of liberation. He says the military should be on Guam to prevent history from repeating itself.
I'm talking about war. If there's anything going on here in the other side, like Russia or some other places around here, this base here is taking care of all this. That's why they put the 7th Fleet here.
His message to the community on his long-awaited visit home:
I love you, Guam. You know that? That's all I can tell you. I love Guam. And this is my place. I loved it all the time.
He also deeply reflects on his wife, who passed away 6 years ago. He says she's waiting for him at a time that he's finally returned home. For an extended interview, tune into our KUAM podcast network on Cuentos Cultura, where Philip talks to our kin Concepcion in Chamorro. In other news, Acting State Historic Preservation Officer Patrick Lujan is changing a long-standing policy of his office that deals with the process for the discovery of ancestral sites and artifacts and construction grounds for commercial developments.
These developers would hire an archaeologist, and then the archaeologist is the one that's working with our office. We're going to change that where we're working with the developers, and then the developers work with the archaeologists.
Lujan says he'll implement this change by the start of August. He says it should streamline communications, effectively cutting out the middleman.
There's always that sense of disconnect when we tell the archaeologists, our instruction, but then they go back to the developer, and the developer is not seeing what we're saying. So what we're doing is we're going to go directly to the developer, and then the developer will inform the archaeologists.
Lujan tells KUAM News this is one internal SHPO office policy he will be changing. He adds there may be more changes forthcoming. More than a month after the Guam Police Department cut the ribbon to its new Central Police Command in Sinahaña, but the doors remain shut. KUAM's Adriana Cotero speaks with the GURA Executive Director on why the precinct isn't in operation yet.
So we've basically built 3 police stations, one in the north, one in the south, one in central Guam.
The northern precinct is located in Dededo, the southern precinct in Agate, and now a brand new central command is built and ready for operations in Sinahaña. Executive Director for the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority, Ray Tapasnia, says the new building was a $4.2 million project that is roughly 10,000 square feet and serves nearly 52,000 people in the central part of the island. But before the door can officially open, an occupancy permit is needed.
We hope to get an occupancy permit to that facility by, I hope, first or second week of August. And the occupancy permit is outside of our control. It requires everybody's approval from DPW to the Guam Fire Department to EPA.
According to Tapasnia, the ribbon cutting was held to coincide with the visiting officials from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, that funded the construction under the Community Development Block Grant Program. And another big project is currently waiting HUD's approval.
The property in Sinahanya was acquired to do two things. One, to build the Sinahanya, or the Central Precinct Command for the police department, and also to build the Sinahanya Fire Station.
Once approved, the design work will begin for the Central Fire Station. Tapasnia says these two developments are of high importance. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Tapasnia says the occupancy permit is pending signatures from GFD, DPW, EPA, and utilities. The target date is mid-August to have everything finalized. In this next story, the Salvation Army does more than the bell ringing during the holidays. In this report, Julia Santos looks into their work with helping the homeless.
When you talk about people who are homeless, I mean, they all represent stories and families and struggles, and it's not always a clear, cut and dry.
Major Tom Stamball has been leading the Salvation Army's efforts for the last 3 years. A big part of their work is with the Guam Homeless Coalition. We asked the Major what are some of the most common causes of homelessness based on his experience.
If it's conditional homeless, it's because either they lost income, they lost their job, like I said, death in the family, or a senior citizen who just can't afford the basics of life anymore.
There are two categories of homeless, conditional homeless and chronic homeless. Stamball told us that those in the conditional type are easier to work with as they mainly require resources that are readily available.
But chronic homeless need a little more convincing that they're not, they're losing their independence. Sometimes they're chronic homeless, sometimes they choose to be homeless. They don't want to, they rather live off the grid, so to speak. And trying to point them to the resources might be a little more hard to convince them that they'll be safe.
He says a big part of the challenge is that chronic homeless have the highest number of individuals with mental illness, so getting them to trust those trying to help them is tricky. And what about those who choose to live off the grid?
If it's a veteran, sometimes they would prefer to not interfere with the government. They did their part, and they just want to just be left alone, kind of thing. It could be with someone with mental health issues. It's really trying to convince them to find stability, whether that's through medication, through a counselor, or whatever it is, to point them to resources that are going to help them be safe.
Another situation is with families. The Major says they do their best to provide as much as they can while helping them become more independent.
Families' dynamics for homelessness, a lot of times it's, what we find is that either a lack of skills to find job placement, or if they have a criminal background, sometimes it's hard to find jobs that they can plug into.
This is why Stamball has created a new position called Homeless Navigator. The job is similar to a caseworker in that the navigator will speak directly to the homeless to find out the specific needs of the individual or family.
Hearing their stories, because every homeless person is a story. They have their own issues, their own things that they're worried about and want to overcome, and pointing them to the right direction, whether that's education, whether that's another agency on island that can better help them or the children. I think that's the best way to really approach homelessness in Guam.
He believes the Homeless Navigator combined with counseling will help to discover the deeper causes of homelessness. Despite all the despair and downtrodden he's seen, Stamball has a positive and productive message for the island.
Trying to find areas that we can bring people into an environment that they feel safe in, that they feel accepted, that they're not a burden, that they want to make a change. And I think having those messages for the homeless is, we don't look at you as someone that's down and out, but it's someone that has potential.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Julia Santos.
Stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we have trend spotting, and still to come, the Guam Crime Stoppers report.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
The summer of Jeep, Compass, Cherokee, Wrangler, Cars Plus, and Mighty. Your new adventure starts now. Buy the 2019 Motor Trend SUV of the year and get a new Jeep Wrangler Sport for $268 per paycheck. Or get a new Jeep Compass Sport, only $167 per paycheck. Let them hear you coming in the new 2019 Jeep Cherokee. Buy for $205 per paycheck. And get financing as low as 1.99% on all Jeep models. Come see why you'll be kicking it at Cars Plus in Mighty. Driven by you.
Welcome back to another episode of Trend Spotting. Here's what had you buzzing this week.
Was one group's effort in cleaning a stretch of trash near the entrance of Fern Terrace all for nothing? Earlier this year, April to be exact, Senator Clint Rigel, with the help from FSM and FAS community groups, cleaned up an area full of trash at a well-known illegal dump site, Ukadu Pipeline. Furniture, tires, refrigerators, and household trash were some of the items moved from the jungles to the side of the road and left for the mayor's office to pick up. After revisiting the site this week, he was in complete shock.
You can actually see there's bags here.
Yeah.
So this was stuff that was already bagged, and it looks like it was never picked up. So it looks like animals tore through it. Yeah, these are the same bags we used. I can tell because the way they look.
Dededo Vice Mayor Frank Benavente admitted to KUAM News much of the trash bagged during the senator's cleanup has been sitting there for 2 months.
I'm sorry, with my 3 staff only, as much as I want to close everything out, it's hard with the big minutes I have. And I'm just saying sorry. I'll do my best to come back and really clean it up.
Here's what some of you thought. Robert thanks Clint and the FSM community and says, "It's so sad and upsetting that the mayors or vice mayors cannot do their part. Such a shame that they're just sitting in office getting paid for nothing." On the other side, Sean says, "The mayor and vice mayor are awesome. It's just there's no funds for the mayor's office to hire more staff to assist the problem." However, he does believe that the mayor's office should have asked for help. And Joycelyn voices what she believes should be implemented, stating, "Utilize the people that have to complete community service hours and prisoners that are out on work release." We asked the senator if he would consider coming back here and doing it all again.
I'm not coming back here. We'll go to another village and we'll make sure, to me, that we did our job here. I'm not going to bring people back to rebag the trash they already bagged. No.
Speaking of trash and island eyesores, Chris also had a revealing report about another illegal site discovered this time right in the heart of Guam's tourism capital. The shocking revelation of piles of trash, which the property owner says was created by homeless islanders in Tumon, angered many of you online, including these YouTubers. Victor commented, "I see this parking lot as a good place to have good events like car shows. I'm sure the car group community would love to use this." And JR adds, "I hope they have a cleanup and I would help so other people can park in it when other parking lots are full." Ever wanted to know how you'll age? Well, there's an app for that. Scrolling down my Instagram feed, I couldn't help but notice an aged photo of almost everyone I followed, including big names like basketball star Dwayne Wade and even Drake. The trend even made its way to Guam. However, you might want to think twice before using the viral selfie app, as it's been linked to a Russian developer, which has some people on the fence about how much information they are releasing. And from sports, Guam's own Anthony Big Ton Solis represented our community with Island Pride in Sin City, competing in Las Vegas, taking home double gold in powerlifting. The praise came fast and frequently on our Instagram feed, with supporters, friends, family, and even total strangers sending their text and emoji congratulation messages. Big Ton himself jumped in the thread, giving the humble hands clasped emoji with the simple note, "Thank you." The 75th Guam Liberation takes place this Sunday, July 21st. Stay tuned to our Facebook page, as we'll have a pre-show live stream starting at 7 a.m. You'll get the first look at everything: the survivors, liberators, floats, families, entertainment, and all the fun leading up to the parade. Engage with us for a chance to win a limited edition 75th Liberation t-shirt.
If you get nervous about having dental treatment, you're not alone. An estimated 35 million adults experience anxiety or nervousness at the simple thought of visiting the dentist. As your dentist, I strive to make your visit as painless or pain-free as possible. And I frequently tell my patients that in the 21st century, if we can give you medicines to put your tooth to sleep, or medicines to take an infection or toothache away, we can surely give you something to help relax you and take all fear away. No one ought to sit in a dental chair thinking of bad childhood memories or fearing injections. If you're a dental coward, but you really do want your teeth fixed, don't wait until the pain is killing you. Come in, tell us your fears, and set up an appointment. We have convinced many that dental treatment doesn't need to be scary anymore. For your helpful dental minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. You shall never know all the good a simple smile can do.
Our community's most cherished holiday is right around the corner, and that also means Liberation Day is coming, so that means Liberation Parade will be here, and there's a few things you need to know in terms of safety, in terms of being safe, in terms of getting in touch with someone if you are in danger or need help. Sergeant Paul Tapau is here, the man on the case for that, and certainly a lot of folks wearing the badge and everything are going to be all up and down the parade route, making sure everybody has a good time.
It's a special event. You know, it is a diamond anniversary for Guam and the Liberation, and you know, we're really the entire island celebrating in accordance to honoring those who've come before us, and of course our survivors. So 75 years of, you know, the celebration. It's that time of year. But, you know, I would like to touch base on the expectations of the parade route, because of the fact that we're doing something unique. We're allowing the campers who are going to overnight for the Liberation Day festivities to stay a little bit longer. So, you know, again, I want to commend Department of Parks and Recs for allowing a smooth transition on Friday for the permit issuance for those who are going to be choosing to camp out for the parade. And, you know, we want to continue that etiquette on to the parade in itself and concluding with the celebration. So some few changes that are going to affect a lot of people. And on the 20th, if I may just do a rundown.
Sure.
On the 20th, 12 o'clock.
From memory, no less.
Yeah. So from Route 1, Route 1 and 4, all the way down to 1 and 6 by Adelup, both north and southbound lanes will be closed off. The outer lane will be closed off to allow exclusively for loading and unloading. Vehicles are going to be asked to move. However, you will have the opportunity to load and offload your equipment for the duration of the parade.
Okay, so just for people, if they're new to the island and say you're somewhere if you stayed in Tumon for the night, like you had a nice family night, but you need to get back down to the naval base and everything, how do you get all the way back down to Sumai?
You're going to find out on the come Liberation Day. We are going to close the roads by 5 o'clock, so all access north and southbound from 1 and 4 to Route 1 and 6 is going to be completely shut down on Liberation Day from 5 a.m. until the parade concludes. So you would have to take alternative routes, either go up to Route 4 or Route 8 down to Route 4 up to Naval Hospital, and
So basically through
utilize.
Regina Heights, and you come down
Yeah.
through White Lady Bridge, and then you come out at
Yes,
Loop and then head
you
over
still
to
have
Dignity.
an accessible roadways to go through to get to the southern part and to the northern part of the island.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the catch to this year's celebration, is that upon completion of the parade in itself, the outer lanes will remain closed, and we are going to open up the inner lanes. So the outer and middle lanes will be closed for pedestrian traffic. That means that campers along the parade route will be able to access the carnival grounds via foot. So we've staged 3 traffic control points for pedestrian crosswalk. So it's going to be designated by the Chamorro Village. One is going to be designated by the Superior Courts of Guam, and the other traffic control point is going to be designated by the intersection of 1 and 4. Now, people are going to stay for the fireworks and, of course, the carnival and everything. And we're still going to allow campers to remain at the site. However, we are going to ask the campers to please start vacating by 11 o'clock that night. So you have until 1 o'clock the next morning, which is July 22nd, Monday morning, to vacate the premises, because we are going to open up all thoroughfares, inner, outer, and middle lane, north and southbound on Route 1. So that's Monday. So that's like 3 days of serious events that are happening within that stretch of road.
Okay, now the day of the parade itself, for those of us who unfortunately won't be camping out, we're just going to go down for the parade. We're going downtown. We're going to celebrate. There's going to be strong police presence there, like all the time. Police are always available if you need any help and everything. If there should be an emergency, or say like, a child becomes separated from their family, what's the best way to actually get the assistance of a police officer?
There's going to be uniformed officers along every strip, every nook, cranny along that area. So within the parade route, you're going to have a uniformed officer there. Go up to an officer along the parade route. You're going to see them. You're not going to be able to miss them, because they're going to be situated along the parade route. We're going to have rovers. We're also going to have
Those GPD badges are shining in the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's it's one of the days in the one day of the year where we have to really be at our best and everything. And twofolds, we ask the community to please exercise proper etiquette too within the parade. This is our 75th anniversary. There's going to be a lot of celebrating going on, and we ask people to be mature, responsible, and understand that this is a time for celebrating, liberation. This is a time to honor those who came before us, or who actually gave the ultimate sacrifice for freedom, and of course to honor our survivors. So, this is a special time, 75 years. It's just testament of who we are and where we are as Guamanians.
Can I ask you, Sarge, how many parades have you worked with over the course of your career as a police officer?
Every year.
Okay.
For the last 20 years, I've been a part of the Liberation Day, event and everything.
Okay, so that's good, because I was going to ask you, because I've seen so many officers that I know, like when we go down there, and you see like officers, they're very, very nice, they're very professional, but even if they're wearing shades, right, they're always looking around, their head's on a swivel, they're looking up and down. As a police officer, there's thousands of people there, there's a parade going on, there's music, there's barbecue, there's 100 things happening at the same time. As an officer of the law, what are you looking for when you're charged with protecting that corner?
We're looking for, of course, for safety throughout the community. So what I like to do is I play the game called grids. I put everything in grids. I look at behavior, I look at mannerism, I look at just how people are and everything, and anything that sticks out that may attract your attention, that's where you focus on. And you also have to do a scan to see what's going on around her. So if you're focusing on one grid and something's happening here, you're able to identify either they're going to be related, closely related, or they may intertwine and escalate to something bigger. So that's some of the techniques that we use. But our focus is, of course, when I first started, it was always keep the kids off the float, because they throw candy, and kids get excited. They tend to run under the float. So we ask parents to please let's not all run out there when the floats are coming in and throwing candy. And I think they had asked the floats to make sure that things are handed out rather than thrown out of the floats, because kids have a tendency of running, and if they're tracked towards that candy that's under the tire, they're going to actually go get that candy under the tire. And once the float starts moving, then we don't want a situation.
Okay, so do we have a crime of the week this week? Okay.
Yes, we do. We have a stabbing that occurred down in Tumon. This happened at the Ocean View. I stand correct. The Ocean Plaza building in Tumon, and we're asking anybody who may have been present, who may have witnessed this, to please call KUAM Crime Stoppers. Submit a tip online, and of course, if you want, you can call us directly at 472-8911.
Okay, so here's what you need to know.
On Tuesday, July 9th, shortly after midnight, officers from the Tumon Precinct Command responded to a stabbing that occurred at the Ocean Plaza building in Tumon. Now, the preliminary police report suggests that the victim was stabbed by a man only described as possibly a Micronesian with his hair tied in a ponytail and was in his late 20s or early 30s. He stands around 5 foot 10 inches in height with a medium build, and he was last seen wearing a cutout sleeve shirt and dark colored shorts. The stabbing had occurred by the stairway of the building. As a result of the incident, the victim sustained injuries that required immediate medical care. If anyone has any information about this crime or any other crime, you can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP, that's 4357, or submit a tip online at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. All calls will remain completely confidential, and a cash reward of up to $1,000 could be paid if the information provided leads to an arrest and a grand jury indictment. Your call does make a difference.
Okay, Sarge, thanks as always. 2 decades on the force. You've always worked, as you said, the Liberation Parade. Is there ever a time when you can actually just sit back and enjoy the parade as a civilian?
There was a time, and it was nice because...
That was more than 2 decades ago, I know that.
I had the opportunity of sharing that with my family. So, you know, it's really either you're part of the parade or you're working the parade. There's always that sense of giving back to the community. And, you know, like I said, we celebrate 75 years, and we're celebrating that, and you know, please, let's all enjoy it.
Well, I guess to the credit of you and your coworkers and your brothers and sisters in blue, every parade I've ever been to on Guam, it never feels chaotic. It never feels like something's about to happen, like it's out of control. It's always the most safe environment. Everybody just has a good time, and that's because you guys have everything on lockdown.
Thank you. That means a lot. It really does. It means a lot to the men and women who, you know, have to endure the elements while out there, and making sure that the community understands the roles that the uniform officers play. So thank you. It really does mean a lot.
All right, we do appreciate it.
I appreciate
Happy Liberation to you and your
too.
family.
Viva Guam, you know, and happy Liberation Day.
Okay, and just remember, everybody, if you have, and actually you are going to definitely see a bunch of officers out there on the parade route, give them some bottled water. Let them know they're doing a good job, man. They appreciate it, like you said. We'll see you soon.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Check out Triple J's spectacular deals going on now during the hot summer savings event. 0 down and no payments for 90 days. Get into a Mazda CX-5 at its lowest price of $19,995 or $152 per paycheck. The big boy truck, the Ford F-150, starting at $282 per paycheck, or the Honda Civic starting at only $176 per paycheck. Triple J says yes. Purchase your next vehicle online at triplejguam.com today. Triple J, customers first.
Want to connect with what's going on at home? Check out the KUAM Podcast Network. From entertainment, culture, news, food, current events, and interesting people, listen to us anytime and anywhere. Look for our feed and subscribe in your favorite podcast service, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. So subscribe and be constantly connected to the KUAM Podcast Network today.
The Good Life, all month long on the stations and networks of KUAM. Check the KUAM News app or KUAM.com for all program listings.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Here's your weekend birthday shout-outs. Kiani Regis, happy birthday to you, and Roman Jesse Cepeda. On Sunday, Liberation Day, happy birthday to Dan Cruz, Alyssa Duenas, and Nanu Cruz. Hope everybody had a fantastic birthday, and happy Liberation Day.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and your birth date. Well, that's all we have time for tonight from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world. KUAM Communications, official sponsor of the 75th Liberation Day festivities. Visit liberation75.visitguam.com or 75th Guam Liberation on Facebook for all the liberation activities. Biba!
Half a day. I'm Chef Peter Dueñas of Mezcla Restaurants, and you're watching Food Obsession. So we just got into Honolulu, Hawaii, and we got our sights on a lot of the local hotspots, but it's lunchtime. We just flew in. I'm starving. So we're headed to Waihole Poi Factory in Kaneohe. So I can't wait. I hear they got some great laulau and some good local grinds. So we're here at the Waihole Poi Factory, and I got some really good stuff here. Got some laulau, got some squid luau, and we got some kalua pig. And of course they come with lomi salmon and rice. Salted salmon, fresh tomatoes and onions. Laulau is a traditional Hawaiian dish. It's stuffed into tea leaves, and it's got taro leaves, pork, fish, beef. I love the taro leaves because it's got an earthy flavor. The pork, the fat.
Oh, I love taro leaves.
And they give us some chili pepper water, which is adds a little spice. The squid luau is basically taro leaves cooked in coconut milk with octopus. Very creamy. That's what I'm talking about. Oh man, this is so good. Can't forget the kalua pig. Kalua pig is a traditional Hawaiian dish where lava rocks are heated up. The pig is placed in that pit with the lava rocks. It's wrapped in banana leaves and taro leaves. And it's buried for several hours. And when it's dug up, the pork is so tender. So it's got a little smokiness from the fire that heated the lava rock. This is good. Just had a great first meal. I'm stuffed. The kalua pig and the laulau was awesome. Now we gotta go check into the hotel and check out some other eats for dinner.
Food Obsession is brought to you by Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, Taggy Fansat Mungi, Mezcla Dos, Fine Burgers and Chamorro Style Barbecue, Pacific LP Gas. LP Gas is our business. AM Insurance. Hard work pays off. That's why AM Insurance is working hard for you. Shooting Star Productions. When it comes to video, the sky's the limit when there's a shooting star in it. Tabasco sauce. Celebrating 150 years.
Pacific LP Gas, providing LP gas to Guam for over 26 years. Specializing in custom barbecue grills and stoves. With an array of LP gas sizes, we cater to all your LP gas needs, whether it's in your home or your business. Pacific LP Gas is your authorized dealer of Armor Screen. Typhoon protection that's transparent, lightweight, easy to deploy, and unbelievably strong. Pacific LP Gas, conveniently located on Ipa Beach Road in Tamuning.
Get mixed up every week on In the Mix. Thursdays on the stations and networks of KUAM. In the Mix is presented by Beach and Shrimp. Visit us today at the Micronesia Mall in the Theater Wing and in Tumon across PIC.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
This KUAM Care Force message is brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Bank of Hawaii would like to